up, guys? Tambo here with your Week 4 core report. Our cores have been on fire this season, and our guy Hoop nailed the Week 4 strategy, stacking up the Lions and Seahawks game. Hoop went cheap at quarterback, rostering Geno Smith with the double stack of DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. He then went full onslaught for the game by adding Jamal Williams, TJ Hawkinson, and Josh Reynolds from the Detroit side. Hoop topped off his lineup with several one-offs, including Austin Eckler, Josh Jacobs, and the Eagles D, racking up a score of 252 DraftKings points with a unique lineup that actually took out a 33-man dupe train, shipping the Hoopster $1 million in the Week 4 Millie Maker. Several of the players from Hoop's lineup appeared in his core plays and cash player pool provided to our premium members, who also had some pretty big weeks. MC won over 3K on DraftKings, Raholman hit for over 5K, Nika hit for over 6K, and Chase Addy NC shipped for over $45,000 on FanDuel. And Hoop isn't the only expert to hit big recently. JT Hayes hit for $20,000 in MLB last week. BigT hit once again, profiting over $33,000 on the NFL Week 4 afternoon slate. And our guy Locks had a huge night, shipping for over $213,000 on the Sunday night Showdown slate. You can watch all of our experts for free by visiting our YouTube channel and subscribing right now. For our premium content, where you can access all of our core plays, playbook, Discord, premium videos, and more, visit runpuresports.com and sign up for a membership today. At RPS, every sport is included for one low price. Sign up for our premium membership today, and let's keep running pure.
What is up, guys? We are here to do one of the final days of baseball. I'm here with Gary. I'm here with DC, the GOAT, the pitching legend. We're ready to get things kicked off here. I'm going to kick it to you, DC. What are you liking about this slate overall?
Yeah, it's always weird to go back into baseball mode after a Sunday, especially one like yesterday, of course. I'm sure we'll get into Hoop's $1 million win. But, 3 more days of baseball. We're winding down to the playoffs. Long season and coming down, the stretch run here. So it should be, a fun night of baseball. We do have a couple of weather spots that are kind of key to the slate. And then, of course, as we've been talking about for the last week or two, some teams kind of shutting it down, others gearing up for the playoffs. There's much more kind of narratives to talk about on this baseball slate and during this last week than we typically see all season long. So we'll cover all that, I'm sure, but I do, of course, have to give out huge congratulations to Hoop, who, dude's been a winning player, crushing it for years and years. And so to see him win the $1 million was pretty cool yesterday. So congratulations to Hoop. I know a lot of people tailed him with the cores and had big wins as well. Shout out to Hoop and everyone else who had a monster NFL Sunday. It was certainly awesome to see. And excited to talk about baseball with you guys. Kurt, is this your debut on the MLB show? Like 158 games in, 5 months into the season. It's good to see you on here.
Hey, only the true grinders are playing this slate. Okay, we got Monday Night Football later, but no, this is a true grinder slate right here. But before I kick it over to you, Gary, guys, don't forget to hit that big giant red subscribe button at the bottom. Hit that like button. Actually, smash the hell out of the like button. Let's get those likes up. They'll give the guys plays out. Don't forget to sign up the premium. You get the core plays. Gary got he does an article every single day. He's got the playbook some days. DC's got his course. You guys see who DC's pitchers are, as always. Get the premium, sign up. Gary, what do you think about the slate?
Yeah, so I think it's going to be pretty interesting, but like DC said, I think we all just need to stroke Hoop a little bit here on his Millie win yesterday. Also, Locks shipped 200K plus in Showdown last night. So, and I know subscribers, posted screenshots in all sports the last few days. I know we've been harping on it since last week with the dupe incident from last Showdown last week. But RPS is just absolutely crushing it right now. Just to own all the haters, and also We do have another celebration today because I know a couple months ago, I was told that the Mets schedule was so easy, so easy that they were going to lock down the Braves and they were going to win the division. And then this weekend happened and we just completely dominated their top three pitchers, DeGrom, Max Scherzer, and the Hound. We do need one more win. I'm burying the lead here because we do need one more win to clinch the division, but we own the Miami Marlins. I think we've lost maybe twice to them this year. So I'm not afraid. I think we lock it up tonight against the Lizard Man, who's on the turbo slate, unfortunately for Steve. But yeah, excited for my Braves. We're going to be clinching here in the next day or two. And you just absolutely love to see it for all the Mets fans out there.
Exactly. I was loving and enjoying watching the sweep. I know I do have a Mets future ticket, but you guys are always big Braves fans. I know Allie is. I'm always rooting for her. And I had the Braves over. Don't have to worry about that. I wasn't worried about that about midseason. So that was my lock of the week or lock of the year in MLB. That hit easily. So I'm a partial Braves fan, even with that Mets ticket. Let's go ahead and get going. Let's start with the pitchers. DC, tell me about what the heck we got going on with the pitchers tonight.
Yeah, so like we mentioned, or I mentioned at the top of the show, there are a lot of teams that don't have much to play for, others that are, have their spot. I guess not much to play for includes teams that have their spot already kind of clinched up. And so you do worry about decreased pitch counts. We've seen that around the league for both teams that are out of it. And now we're starting to see it for teams that are lining up their playoff rotations to get ready for the postseason. So that's certainly worth talking about. I do think kind of the clear number one for me is Brandon Woodruff here. Matchup's not perfect. Arizona's been a little pesky. They've got, kind of those young lefties in the lineup that can do some damage, but still Milwaukee fighting for the playoffs still. And yeah, Woodruff, obviously, one of their two aces along with Corbin Burns. He's been really, really good over the last couple of months. Basically, but yeah, especially over these last 2 or 3 starts, he's been awesome. He's expensive on both sides. He will be chalky, but I think on this slate where there's so many question marks surrounding a lot of these pitchers, and there's just not that many good pitchers in general, especially for an 11-game slate. That you combine a pretty good matchup with a really good pitcher, and all the motivation in the world for Woodruff to go out there and give it his all. He does have to be number one for me. I'm seeing him come around 35, 40% ownership on DraftKings. I think that's fair for Woodruff. I think, sometimes the clear number one on the slate, you'll see them get up near 50, 60%. It kind of seems like Woodruff should be that on the slate when you compare him to the other options. So yeah, my clear number one there. SP2 is interesting. Right now, I'm leaning Carlos Carrasco, but that game probably isn't going to play. We don't think in New York with the remnants of Hurricane Ian there. It looks like it's raining there now. I do expect that game to be postponed. It will be, though, a scenario where if they do start that game on time, I assume they're just going to play it, right, and play through the rain because it's raining there right now. It's very rare that teams actually start a game when it's currently raining. So we'll see on that one. Maybe we'll get that news before we get off the air. Carrasco would be my number 2, but it seems unclear that he's going to pitch. Other guys that I think you can look at, Patrick Sandoval, all the way down at 7,700 against Oakland. Angels, of course, nothing to play for, but it's been a good season for Sandoval. And my guess is, Gary, that they want him to finish strong. I expect him to be more or less a full workload. You never know for sure. He could get pulled early, but there's just not that many options on the slate. He does provide some savings. And then I think it's close between Aaron Nola and Lance McCullers, who are going to duel. Obviously, Houston, I don't think they're playing for anything here. Gary, yeah, you're shaking your head. So, they're another team that's ramping up for the playoffs. McCullers has been good enough down the stretch here where I assume, is going to be in the playoff rotation. And he's all the way stretched out now. Last 3 outings, 105, 102, 99 pitches. You would think they would scale him back here some, but he's interesting. And then on the other side, I almost never play pitchers against the Astros, especially when they've got a full strength lineup out there like they do tonight, the Astros do. But Philly, fighting for their playoff life here. They've got their ace, Aaron Nola, on the hill. and he's going to be out there for 100 pitches, assuming things are going even moderately well for him. He is a strikeout guy, a low strikeout lineup, but with so many question marks around so many of these other pitchers, it could be that rare situation where I'm willing to pitch a pitcher against the Astros. I'm also seeing him projected around 5 to 10% ownership. I think people aren't adjusting properly to what could be reduced pitch counts for a lot of these guys. And I think Aaron Nola's matchup is obviously keeping his ownership down, but I think he's a pretty strong play tonight. And then two more guys I'll throw in there. George Kirby pitching for Seattle. Matchup is great, pitching at home against Detroit. Another pitcher that I am worried about the pitch count, but the matchup, the talent, all that stuff is good for him. And then Joe Musgrove, I think, is a pretty solid play as well against San Francisco. So that's mostly it for me. I guess I could throw Bailey Ober in there. He dominated the White Sox last time out. There's no reason, I guess, he couldn't do it again. But that is pretty much it. So yeah, 5, 6 guys that I think are pretty strong plays tonight.
Always nice hearing your pitchers. Now, Gary, where are you going to go? Are you going to try to go overweight on Woodruff? Or are you going to get some Kirby, who looks like he's getting steamed up a little bit, as I'm seeing? Where are you going to go? Before you say that, guys, hit that like button. We're going to give you some of the core plays, not all of them, because you guys get the premium. We got, I think it's 6 core plays for baseball. Sign up, get that. Not to mention, with all this weather going on, this hurricane's moving up the East Coast, almost gone. We might have some slate breaking calls in the Discord. You got to sign up. You got to get in the Discord. The instructions will be there. Slate breaking calls are always on the Discord. Get signed up. Gary, where are you going?
Yeah, I mean, so Brandon Woodruff, it's pretty hard for me to ignore him in this spot. I mean, yeah, he's going to be the highest owned guy, but I think he has the highest upside here as well. Interesting enough, Arizona, I mean, they've been pesky a little bit towards righties. But then I looked at the last 2 days on the handedness chart on the site, and they've struck out the most versus right-handed pitching over the last 2 weeks. That's as opposed since 8-1, the 26th most. So something's happened in the last 2 weeks. I don't know whether they don't care. They're ready to go home for the off season or what, but they have been striking out a ton. So definitely like him here a ton. I wasn't really on McCullers at all. I really don't know what to do with him. DC brought him up. He's been 100 pitches, but man, it's just really hard for me to fathom that they would, let him go 100 pitches here. I know Dusty had said that they're gonna play all their guys if the game means something for the other team, and this is one of those games where it does mean something for the other team. So they put out pretty much their Death Star lineup, as Steve Boynton would say, tonight. So I'm probably not going to do it. I definitely do like Aaron Nola, though. I know the matchup is scary, but man, he's been really good this season. He's not going to be owned at all. Like DC said, under 10%, I think, on this slate. And he has everything to play for. Philly clinches with a win. They just need one win in the last 3 or 4 games. I don't know how many they got. But yeah, so I definitely like Aaron Nola. He's going to go 100 pitches. George Kirby, I think he's going to be the chalk SB2 on the slate versus Detroit. 9K for him. I don't think I can do it. I just, he hasn't gone over 90 pitches in 8 starts, I believe. He could certainly get it done against Detroit, but then looking at the handedness chart, even for Detroit, it's kind of like the opposite from the Arizona team, where since 8-1, Detroit has struck out the second most versus right-handed pitching. In the last 2 weeks, they're 18th most versus right-handed pitching. Their bats are still pretty crappy, but they're not striking out as much over the last couple of weeks. So I'm probably going to be off him. I do like Joe Musgrove a ton here. 8,700 is just a really nice price. Great matchup here against San Francisco at home. So I'm probably going to be heavy on Woodruff and Musgrove. I don't hate Sandoval. I don't know. I'm just not really a Sandoval guy. But Oakland is a really good matchup in that ballpark. And I'm not going to chase Bailey Ober here at 6,900. I think he's probably going to he could get steamed up a little bit too. People just open up that game, the box score there, and you see 38 DraftKings points. This is the classic. JT is going to fade this guy coming off a ceiling performance. So I'm not going to go there. I'm going to concentrate on Woodruff and Musgrove tonight, and Nola would be my third guy. So just 3 guys in my pool tonight.
Gary, I'm going to go right back to you for the first game. But first, DC, I want to ask you a question. How much do you factor in with Nola should be pushed here? How much is that factored into your decision when picking a pitcher?
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge on this slate to know that the pitcher is going to get their full workload. There's a bunch of guys like Lance McCullers. We just don't know. It is interesting. Dusty Baker and the Astros say they're going to play their starters if the other team has something to play for, which you do see reflected in that lineup. But it's hard to imagine they let Lance McCullers go over, I don't know, 80 pitches. Why would they? They've got the playoffs coming up. He's an injury prone guy anyway. He's clearly kind of already proven he can do it 3 games in a row, averaging 100 pitches per start. Again, we're just speculating. We don't know. There's no hard information, but I would just be surprised if if they pushed him. So that's a concern. And same thing with George Kirby. I mean, they were trying to limit his workload even when they were fighting, before they had clinched. And now that they have, it's hard to imagine that he kind of got rocked against Oakland that when he threw that 69 pitch start, but other than that, you see 85, 84, 88 pitches. I think they even used him out of the bullpen one start back in early September. So I just don't think, given the workload concerns, and it's not like he's particularly cheap. He's $9K on DraftKings. I know this is a long answer, Kurt, and not what you asked necessarily, but just to reiterate, Kirby and McCullers are kind of the 2 guys that I think are going to get ownership, that I'm most worried about their pitch count with them. So, give me Musgrove over Kirby straight up. I think that's pretty clear, and it looks like won't even be reflected in ownership, which I think is a little strange, to be honest. But yeah, I'll probably for the most part let McCullers and Kirby. I'll let other people play them and hope that they get pulled after 4 or 5 innings.
I like that, because like I said, I saw Kirby getting steamed up as far as ownership.
Yeah.
Gary, get us started here on this Baltimore-Toronto game. Looking kind of gross. Steady rain's been here all weekend, this Baltimore area. That's where I'm at. I mentioned to you guys in the show, like, I don't like targeting games at Baltimore because I don't even go to the games anymore. I used to go to all the games before they moved back left, and now I don't. So what are you liking here? Anything you're really standing out for you?
Man, I was hoping to get some good weather for this game because I like this game for bats. I like the offense on both sides of this game. I think I might still roll the dice and do it. I know the totals are low. Both totals are under 4 here. But man, I like both sides. I mean, you look at on the Toronto side, Bo Bichette, he's been hitting the ball really good. And even down at the bottom, Whit Merrifield, I mean, I don't know what he's done he's eating his Wheaties for breakfast in the morning, but his last 5 or 10 games or so, he's on fire. He's 3,200 on DraftKings. Nobody's going to play him. I don't think much ownership is going to get on this game, period, just because of the weather. And that's just a decision that I'm going to have to make before lock to see whether I want to risk the bats in this spot, because there's a couple chalky spots that I'm not that high on tonight. So I want to get a little bit different, and it might be just stacking up this game. Like I said, I like both sides here. You're on mute.
I like that. DC, you feeling the same way? A little bit of a sneaky snack situation?
Yeah, I think you could go to both offenses here. The weather is a concern. I don't know if they're going to play this game. I mean, I think they can. It's currently light rain there. Again, the aftermath of the hurricane is moving up the coast. It's just going to be a situation if they decide to play it or not. I mean, it's been raining steadily all day. It's going to rain throughout this game, but it's very light rain. And so they'll just have to make the call. We don't know whether or not they're going to play it. If they do start on time, I feel very confident that they've just made the decision. They're going to play through the rain. I don't think it's going to get any worse or anything like that. So I would feel relatively comfortable playing players from this game if they do start it on time. But I'm not sure they will. And if it does start in delay, I don't think you can play this game because it's not going to clear out anytime soon. So they're not going to send the players out there to warm up for the game in the rain if it's delayed. So we'll see. I bet we'll get the decision on this game, in the next half an hour to 40 minutes. If it's not postponed by then, I assume that they're going to end up trying to play it. So if they do play it, I think it's a good way to go. For one, I think it'll be low owned for the most part. The relatively low totals. It's not good hitting weather. And then people, a good number of people who would have played it, there's not that many people that would have played it anyway, but a good number of them who would have probably moved off due to weather, just kind of written it off. And so you will get these players lower owned. than they otherwise would have been. I do like the Toronto side a little bit more. And then, this is a game that I think you kind of want to go with the full stack if you're going for it, because you are taking on some risk with the weather. But yeah, both sides look good to me. Usual suspects kind of on both sides of the ball. I do prefer the Orioles lefty bats over their right-hander bats for the most part.
All right. I like it. And as a GPP bro myself, this would be the game I would stack for sure, because no one's going to do it. Give it to me. That's how I always play everything. So I'm going to go with Gary's side. Stack it up, baby. Let's go. Now, next to a game in Texas, we just had Torres scratched. So Gary, give me your thoughts on that and the rest of this game.
Gleyber Torres was scratched. I didn't see that.
Yeah, just now got that.
Probably no interest for me in this game. Obviously Aaron Judge. He's going for 62. He's going to hit it eventually. I just don't know whether it's going to be tonight.
Is he? He's got 3 games left. You feel pretty confident he's getting 62?
62. Let's get 70.
He's been trying for 62 for a week now, and he hasn't done it yet. So everybody keeps walking him and not giving him pitches to hit. I don't blame him. Who wants to be that pitcher that gives up 62 to Judge? So I'm going to bank on that not happening tonight. I'm not going to have any hitters in this game.
Well, that's easy. Full scratch off. DC, you feel the same way? You want to eat that Judge chalk? Nom, 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 nom.
I'm not going to the Texas side of this, and it is kind of a spend up on pitching type of slate, so it's hard to get Judge into your lineups. I do like the Yankees though, right-handed power, a little bit less. Actually, like a little bit less. Now that Torres is scratched, he would have been a guy that I would want to have had in there. But yeah, hard to overlook the Judge Stanton mini stack right at the top. Right, maybe you get the Judge. He gets walked and Stanton hits a 2-run homer. Stanton obviously crushes lefties. Perez has been good at home this year and actually hasn't given up that many home runs, but I still do like someone as good as lefties as Stanton is. Of course, Judge kind of speaks on his own merit. And then, I think you could include Donaldson. Aaron Hicks is super cheap, but it is kind of just the 2 big sluggers at the top, Judge and Stanton, that I'm most interested in, and I'm not going to use any Rangers myself here.
All right. Before we go to the next game, guys, to the best team in the history of baseball, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, sign up. We got on the playbook today, I believe it was Uncle T, breaks down every game, every position, reads it out for you. It's a quick, easy read every day. The guys, it's switching off, whether it's Gary, whether it's Uncle T, whether it's my guy Steve, the college basketball GOAT. We always got it every single day, no matter what is going on. We got football, basketball starting, doesn't matter. We're going to have it every single day. Sign up, all sports, one price. Hit the like button. Gary, talk about the best team in baseball, the Boston Red Sox.
Well, the best team in baseball is not the Boston Red Sox, but you got me excited because I thought the Braves were on the slate for a minute. But anyway, but yeah, this game is another tough one for me. Wind's blowing in massively in Boston. It's chilly. Man, everybody likes to pick on Rich Hill. But man, he just trolls the world. It seems like every start. I know the bullpen's pretty bad, but I'm looking at this lineup for Tampa Bay. I just can't do it on a 11-game slate. I'm looking at the last 30-day numbers versus lefties for these guys, and it's pretty bad. Outside of their K percentage, they're not really striking out a lot, but they're definitely not putting the ball in play either. So I'm going to be off this game. Boston's got a 3.5 total. I can't do it. Glasnow's probably only going to go 60 pitches, but he's a really good pitcher. I'm not going to pick on him in a spot in Boston with the wind blowing in over 10 miles an hour. So no bats.
Right here over you see, I just want to say my second biggest offseason bet was I bet the under for my Red Sox. I knew that bullpen was going to be in trouble. So I made 3 bets. I went 2 for 3, and my 2 biggest ones won. So I'm not an MLB legend, but I'm just saying, did pretty well.
I like the tooting your own horn there on your three preseason baseball bets. That's why we're here, Kurt. That's why you've been called up to the big show. 2 for 3, 66%. Kurt, I love it. Bats here, yeah. So many of these games have bad offensive environments that you kind of have to, almost dump them all in the same bucket. It is cooler here than it is out on the West Coast, but Fenway Park is a good place to hit. I don't mind the Rays. They've got a cheap guy, Vidal Brujan, hitting leadoff. He's a switch hitter. Second base, outfield, 2,300. I think he'll be a popular play, but it looks like good value, which we might need. I don't mind guys like a Rosarena, Wander Franco. Their prices are just way up there, and they're not my preferred stack given the tough hitting environment here, but a decent way to go for sure. And then, Glass now on the hill. Awesome to see him back and pitching. Rarely going to use hitters against him, to be honest, and that'll stay the same tonight. So no Red Sox for me, and not much offense in this game in general.
I can't let Gary lead off this next game because we know he's just going to talk shit the whole time. So, DC, run it back. What do you see in the Washington and the New York Mets game?
Yep. Well, the game is probably not going to play, but we can talk about it briefly if it is. If it does play, if it does start on time, I think it will go. But again, I do expect this game to be postponed. Carlos Carrasco, I think, is in a pretty good spot here. I faded him last week when he ended up, negative points. My guys didn't do that good either, so I didn't profit too much from it. But he's kind of limping at home, it seems like, but the matchup is good enough, and the hitting environment, if this game somehow plays, is just atrocious. I mean, it's going to be like impossible, it seems like, to hit a home run with 50 degrees and like the remnants of the hurricane wind blowing in from center field. Not really where I would want to roster hitters. So I kind of hope it plays, because I think people are going to play the Mets guys, and I don't really want to go there even if it does play. So I'm not playing bats here either way. If it does end up starting on time, I might dabble with some Carlos Carrasco, but even him, I do worry that it seems like you could just like lose your command, right? In this type of weather, and not be able to throw strikes with the wind blowing. Maybe you're not comfortable out there. So that does make me a little bit nervous, but the matchup is good enough. And I think people will probably be afraid to play him, even if it does start on time, which maybe I'll grab a piece of that, what I think will be low ownership on Carrasco, but definitely not playing any bats here. Even if you told me for sure I was going to play, I don't think I would go there. So I'm fading the hitters in this one.
All right, Gary, you feeling the same way? You weren't as thrilled with Carrasco. I'm basically assuming you X'd out everything, but anything you got on this one?
Yeah, for the most part, like DC said, I don't think this game's going to play, and the Mets offense has just not been there. But they have been, facing some pretty elite pitching the last 3 days, and Corey Abbott is not that. He is pretty much the opposite of that. One guy, Jeff McNeil's been on fire. Escobar's been on fire. But I'm just not going to do it. I hope that, like DC says, I think the game, if they start on time, they're going to try to get it in, because it's supposed to rain the next 2 days in New York as well. So they're going to have to finish out this series and to get onto the postseason. So I don't think I'm going to have any bats here, and just move on to the next one.
All right, let me run it right back with you in a game that's finally not affected by the hurricane, the cold weather, the rain, all that stuff. We're going to Milwaukee, but guys, first hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, or else. Gary, what do you like in Milwaukee?
I like Milwaukee. I think they're one of my favorites on the slate. This Henry dude is just not good. He's got a 6.6 xFIP over the last 30 days. You extrapolate that out to the whole season, and he's got still a 6 xFIP on the season. So definitely not good. Milwaukee, they need this game. They need to win. So I always think that, players, you just look at Ronald Acuna, for instance, last night when he made that last out for Kenley Jansen. He did the fist bump in the air. They know what's at stake. They want to get in the postseason. I think motivation is a thing in baseball. And I think these Brewers bats are going to come to play tonight. I like them top to bottom here. Renfroe, McCutchen, Yelich, Urias. I like the whole lineup, top to bottom. I think you can play them all. This Henry dude, like I said, is not good, and the Arizona bullpen is probably one of the worst in baseball. So it's kind of like a perfect storm here for Milwaukee to smash tonight.
Now, DC, I remember early in the year, these Milwaukee bats were not kind to us early in the year. I'm talking way back in the beginning of the year. Started heating up here a little bit. You feeling the same way? Are they your favorite stack?
Yeah, if we're doing throwbacks from the beginning of the year, Kurt, you're calling out your winning bets. I recall Gary a couple days into the MLB season said he wasn't going to play the Brewers. Did you say the entire year, Gary?
Can we? Nobody just knows that I took a L like a month later on the show, live on a Sunday show, and said I made a mistake. So
it's good.
It's a long season.
It's just you don't want to write off a team entirely for the whole damn year in the first couple of days, but
it's a long year for sure.
Yeah, very, very, very long year. A lot changes. The Brewers bats have come alive, and they do have a lot of guys who hit lefties well. Mike Brosseau atop the lineup, almost certainly going to be pinch hit for, but he's like cheap enough. He's probably going to get 2 shots at Tommy Henry. I think you could go there. My favorite plays, though, Adames, Renfroe, McCutcheon in the middle of the lineup, but even, Luis Urias, Keston Hiura, Caratini, Taylor, and then, of course, Yelich, it's lefty, but he's been pretty good these last couple of months as well, too. So, yeah, I like the Brewers. I think you can play a 5-man. I think you can play, all 9 of these guys have appeal for different reasons. Even the guys, that you might be worried about the pinch hitting, Brosseau and Taylor, they're cheap enough where you just need that one swing of the bat and they can, they can get in the winner's circle for you. So really like the Brewers. Tommy Henry, nobody to fear. I think one of the better targets. And this game indoors, which goes from being a disadvantage for most of the summer to being an advantage once you get into this type of weather where most teams got to play in 50 degrees. Give me 70 degrees in that home run prone stadium. Pretty good spot for the Brewers here. I'm not personally going to go to Diamondbacks. I'll have mostly Brandon Woodruff. If you are fading Woodruff, I don't hate going to a guy like Corbin Carroll, 2,600, get some leverage against a chalk pitcher for a good hitter who's got some power. But yeah, mostly Woodruff for me, so it won't end up on any Diamondbacks.
Now to a game which is another very low total, but a team that I always like to stack in the Chicago White Sox because they got so much power. Gary, what are you liking here in Chicago?
Yeah, I'm not gonna go with the White Sox. They're just checked out at this point. Bailey Ober coming off of a really good start. I think Bailey Ober does have some talent in the long-term future for him. I'm not going to have any White Sox, but I do have a little bit of interest here in the Minnesota Twins. Just looking at game logs for Cueto. I mean, he's just given up 8 hits. I mean, he's given up so many hits. He's not really getting blown up as far as home runs and all that, but these guys are cheap enough here. Jose Miranda, 3,600. I like that here a little bit. Carlos Correa, I don't know if DC saw his comments on his free agency. That was pretty funny, but he's been hitting the ball pretty well recently. Like him quite a bit. Nick Gordon and hitting in the 3-hole. He's 3K. You can play him at second base or outfield. Nice salary saving option. He's been hitting the ball pretty good. Not much power for him, but yeah, he's gonna at least get you a few fantasy points, whether it's 2 or 3 hits. Gio Urshela, another guy, Jake Cave. So this team is really cheap, and it allows you to fit in 2 stud pitchers. So I like that tonight. So yeah, I do have some interest in Minnesota.
All right, DC, my White Sox stat got shut down. Can you come to my defense here a little bit? Is it okay to stack them up in an MME or something?
White Sox? No, I want to go.
Man.
I want to go to the White Sox here. I do think we didn't talk that much about Bailey Ober, but he does have to be in play here at 6,900 after he dominated this team last time out. I'm not saying he's going to do it again. In fact, I think the logical bet would be expect him to kind of return to normal. But I mean, in that price range, you can't really come up with guys that have the same upside that he just showed, right? So if he did it once, he's certainly capable of doing it again. I think it's almost the exact same matchup as it was before. He's another guy that they could pull early. It wouldn't shock me at all, but he hasn't thrown that many innings this season. He's auditioning for a spot next year. I think if he's rolling along, I bet they let him throw 90 pitches here. So he does need to be at least in play at 6,900. I'm still seeing pretty low ownership for him, even coming off that big start. So yeah, I do think Ober is in play. I'm not stacking either of these teams, but the Twins do have some cheap bats that you can play. Nick Gordon, we've been on him for a while. I think he's a solid play. Matt Wallner has some power down in the 7-hole, big kind of lefty power hitter for the Twins that's come up in these last couple of weeks. So yeah, they've got some options, but I don't love this hitting environment. Cueto, despite all the hits he gives up, typically doesn't get blown up, but maybe the Twins can string some together and get it done. But yeah, I'm not super high on the offenses here. Don't have many White Sox in my pool at all.
All right, Gary, I'm gonna go over to you now. We talked about how you love Nola, so I imagine you're not gonna talk about the hitters, but it seems like one of the better games we have on the slate today. So, how are you handling this pitcher's duel?
I mean, it's just a spot where I'm going to condense my offense on the slate, and this is another easy cross off for me. You got two really good pitchers. The Houston bullpen is one of the best in baseball, behind McCullers, even if he gets pulled early. I definitely don't have any interest in the Philly bats here, and not really Houston either. I mean, I played Houston probably more than Steve Boynton this year. It's probably, other than
That's
the
not
Braves,
possible.
probably my. I play in pretty much every slate. They're just an awesome lineup, top to bottom. But I don't think I'm going to go there today. I'm just going to condense my ownership elsewhere.
All right, I'm seeing like really low ownership on the Philly guys. I mean, I know McCullers is solid and he's a stud, but I mean, if this is correct, I'm seeing all like sub 6%. Do you see what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, if you're playing Houston, like Nola, he does give up his fair share of home runs. The Astros do have, you could argue the best offense on the slate with the lineup that they rolled out there. So I do think there's upside there. I don't really want to go against Aaron Nola. You'll get them very low owned, but they are expensive. So it's just kind of hard to fit them in with the pitchers that I want to use, especially going up against Aaron Nola. But Nola, really good pitcher, but when he does get hit, it's usually pretty hard via the long ball. So I do think the Astros do make a little sense as a contrarian stack. And then I definitely think you can play Alvarez, Kyle Tucker as really good one-offs against Aaron Nola. Wouldn't be surprised to see one of those guys take him deep. So some interesting stuff there. The Phillies, I'm not going there. McCullers has looked good. Like Gary said, bullpen behind him is very good for Houston. So I don't really see a huge reason to go to Philly for the most part.
That's what I was thinking. You actually answered the question I was going to ask, is if you all like any one-offs. That's why I kind of see myself doing in this game is just a one-off. Gary, do you not even have a one-off that you'd like in this one?
I mean, just the power guys. It's Alvarez, it's Tucker, and the same goes for the other side. It's Schwarber, it's Bryce Harper, those kind of guys. So I wouldn't get cute.
Well, let's go ahead and keep it on with you. And let's kick it out to the team out west, the spunky team, Seattle Mariners. How are you handling this one?
Yeah, so I mean, Seattle, this is a great spot for them. I think. I've been playing batters against Detroit for a while now. Not going to stop tonight. Julio Rodriguez is back in the lineup tonight. And look at the last 30 days versus right-handed pitching, and it's a lot of green on my screen. Julio Rodriguez 419 ISO, Suarez 277 ISO, Cal Raleigh 375 ISO, Kelenic 438 ISO against right-handed pitching. He's 2,300. It's hard for me not to click Jared Kelenic in my lineup tonight. I think he's going to go deep. I like Seattle a ton here. Probably my top stack on the slate.
I like that. And my boy Kelenic, EMC Dusty, that's his boy. So I've always been rooting for that guy from afar. So I'm all on Kelenic. DC, what do you like out west? Is Seattle close to you at all? Is that close to Denver? That's got to be like within.
Oh my gosh.
Not at all.
Come on, Kurt. You
Geography.
don't know some geography?
It's somewhere. I know Seattle's the very tip top, and then Denver's.
Yeah, like in the middle of the country. It's like
and like the Midwest.
It's like a 17-hour drive, but pretty close. Yeah, I guess they don't teach geography down where
I'm from West Virginia, so that's that West Virginia high school education.
West Virginia education.
Yeah.
I'm with Gary. I think Seattle looks good. They did clinch the playoffs. Was that on Friday? I think Thursday or Friday. But I do think, I think they're still trying to win games. I think they're trying to stay hot going into the playoffs. They're at home. They've got the big crowds going. They get Julio Rodriguez back here. So, I think Seattle, I expect them to kind of put their best foot forward in this game and to finish the year strong against a Tigers team that's, they gotta be about ready to mail it in. It's been a disappointing year for them. Cal Raleigh, who got the postseason clinching walk-off home run. He's been awesome against righties all year long, just crushing them, so much power. I think he could, he's got a good claim to the top. catcher play on the slate overall. Julio. I mean, Jared Kelenic, another guy who has a ton to play for right now, trying to get on the postseason roster, I assume, which I assume he'll make. But, he's got everything to prove and everything to play for in the world. So he's another guy, 2,300. I like him quite a bit. Yeah, I think you can make a good case for the Seattle offense putting up some runs tonight. So I do like them quite a bit.
Now we finally got some games, some even more bats. Maybe we can actually play in this time. I know
it's weird that we have to go to the West Coast to find hitters that we like, but that's just the nature of the slate and the weather right now.
Exactly. Now we got one of the best hitters in the league, Juan Soto, coming up. Gary, what are you doing with Juan Soto? What are you doing with the San Fran game? Great ballpark to hit. Great ballpark to also visit. I've gone there twice, I believe, on my California trips. Love that ballpark. What are you thinking?
Well, I can't tell you the last time I played a Padre in my lineup. It's probably been a couple months, and that's not even being funny. I'm definitely not going to start tonight. This is another easy cross-off for me. This San Francisco, it's basically a bullpen game from what I'm seeing. I don't normally like targeting that. I don't believe in the San Diego offense right now, so I'm not going to jump on the train here. I will be fading bats here.
DC, you with the fade on the
final?
Padres
a little bit more, but I certainly understand the fade. The Padres. It seems weird to me that they're still fighting for the playoffs. It seems like they should have been eliminated with getting nothing out of Tatis. They trade for Soto, and he just kind of goes in the tank. He really hasn't been that good for them, but they're still fighting. There's not that many bats in that lineup I really have a lot of confidence in. I mean, even Soto himself, I don't love paying that $5,600 price tag. Actually might replace them in my player pool with the Mariners. I think I like the Mariners better than the Padres tonight. But of course, Soto, Josh Bell, and then Cronenworth would be the three guys I'd be most likely to play against the right-handers there for the Giants. But I'm not playing Giants against Musgrove either, who I think is a very strong play tonight. So not a ton here. Do like the Padres side better, but the more I look at it, Gary, the more I don't really want to hop on this team tonight, to be honest.
Looks like another easy cross off to me. Now let's go back, or I guess more north in California. Oakland A's, another good weather game. Angels Athletics. What are you doing with it, Gare Bear?
Gare Bear. I haven't heard that. I haven't been called that in like 30 years.
Was it from a man? Was it from another man?
I mean, if you count it's my dad, but back in the day when I was like a little kid. But anyway, I want to like this game. I want to like the Angels in this spot specifically. Martinez is not good. Just the ballpark's really bad. It's a huge ballpark. We say it every time. Ward is hitting the ball a little bit. Maybe a couple one-offs here. Don't hate it if Trout makes the lineup. He's been hitting the ball really good, of course. Ward's heating up a little bit, but I don't think I'm going to get here. But man, I'm looking at Taylor Ward's box scores, and it's jumping out at me a little bit. It's a pretty good price tag. It's on the rise a little bit, but warranted. He's putting up double-digit fantasy points in each of his last, 5 of the last 6 games. Looks pretty good. I'm not going to get crazy here. I'm not going to full stack them, but I'll make maybe 2-man mini stack, 3-man mini stack, or some one-offs here for the LA hitters. And then no Oakland for me. I'm just not going to play Oakland on an 11-game slate.
Mini stack season for Gary. DC, we talk about it all the time. The ballpark sucks ass, but how you handle it? One-offs, any stacks potentially?
Yeah, don't love the ballpark, but it's not really a worse scenario than most environments are tonight. So I am willing to play hitters in Oakland right now. Not the Oakland A's, but the Angels side of it, I think, is pretty good. Does seem like they're trying to finish out strong. Trout missed a good chunk of time with the back injury. Seems like he's out there every day now. I think trying to end the season well. Ohtani, he just looks like he loves playing baseball, right? I'm just never worried about his motivation. Just he's been awesome all year long. I expect him to finish strong this season. Taylor Ward, if you remember all the way back to April, Gary, he was like the best hitter in baseball for a 2-month period. Kind of did not a ton, to be honest, for like May, June, July, August, and now again he's crushing it. So just remembering that he was able to do this, go on a run like this, previously in the year, it's a long time ago now, makes you have some confidence. Maybe he can finish the year strong. Luis Rengifo, I think, is an okay play. Joe Adele, a ton of cheap power down to the bottom of the lineup. So, yeah, I think the Angels definitely have some appealing bats here, especially going up against Adrian Martinez, who is not a good pitcher. So I do like the Angels side of it. I said I wasn't playing any A's. Sean Murphy, I think, is a good play against the lefty. He crushes lefties and has a lot of power. Obviously, catcher, a very weak position. So you could go there, but I'm going to limit my exposure to the A's as much as I can.
I love the cheap power call on Adele because early in the year, he helped me have a sweat. He went yard, and I bumped up pretty big. And I had a little sweat there for a minute in MLB.
Yeah, he's been hitting a little bit.
Yeah, I like that cheap power. Going to the last game of the night. We're going back. Well, actually, we're staying in Cali. Dodgers game, Gary. Sucks that we don't have any Accord. I really wanted my first show to be a Coors slate, just to troll.
Yeah, I think done with the Coors, thank God. But man, I think the Dodgers are definitely the chalk of the slate. It's Jose Urena. They got the highest total on the slate, 5.7. From what I'm seeing, Jose Urena is back in our lives again. But man, I pulled up his box score when I saw the total. I actually played Urena in his last start, and it worked out for me. It got what I needed. It got me between 10 and 15 points. That's what I was looking for. And I honestly would not be surprised if he got another 10 to 15 points here. I'm going to be fading the Dodgers tonight. I'm just not going to do that on an 11-game slate when I think they're probably – Will Smith and Muncy and these guys, and even Freddie Freeman – they could get upwards of 30%, I think, on this massive slate. I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to take my stand there and hope Urena can pull through. I wrote in the premium article today that I don't hate the idea of using Urena at 5K. He's going to throw 100 pitches. They're not limiting him at all. As long as he can survive and not get blown up, I think he can get us 10 to 15 points. I'm probably not going to do it, just because I don't think I need to, but I'm not going to have any Dodgers in my lineups tonight.
I love that take. Let's go. GPP bros reunite. DC, you feel the same way? You fading this chalk?
Yeah, I did list the Dodgers, in my kind of stack listing. It seems like you almost have to, given that they've got a 5.7, 5.8 team total, and almost every other team is below 4. So you are going to see them come in, I think, very chalky. It's just people aren't going to be able to avoid that number, of course, because they've got the high projected team total. They're going to come in very well in projections as well. But yeah, I said it last start. I didn't play Urena like Gary, but man, I've been trying to play lefties against this guy all year long. It really hasn't worked out, even when he's been at Coors Field. And the Dodgers are mostly right-handed, right? They do have Muncy and Freeman in there. But yeah, of course, the Dodgers could go off here and break the slate and chalk hits, but this does seem like a pretty good spot to maybe look elsewhere, to go to one of the other offenses. They're going to carry such high ownership. So I'm with you guys. I think it makes sense to go against the chalk Dodgers here and go to one of these other games.
Let's go. Before we end it, and let's hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. We can get the plays. I have no idea how you guys are in the show, so I'm just going to make up my own little thing. How about that? We're going to do favorite stack, favorite pitcher, and then a home run call. How's it? Is that cool with everybody?
Works for me.
And then our play.
Right, guys,
yeah, works.
Smash the like button first. What did you say, Gary?
It's perfect.
All right, let's do it. I don't know how I just went free ball in there. Hit the like button, guys, or we're not going to do it. Just kidding. We're still going to do it anyways, but hit the like button because you like us. Gary, I'll start with you. Give me the triple crown.
So it's Brandon Woodruff. It's going to be. He's the highest owned guy, but I just think it's an absolute smash spot for him here. He's going to be in all my lineups here. My favorite stack is going to be Seattle. I'm going pretty much all in on them tonight. And my home run call is Jared Kelenic. I think he's going to get it done for us and hit us a bomb tonight.
That was going to be mine as well. DC, take it over.
Yeah, I will go. I'll go with Woodruff as the pitcher, and then I will stick. I'll stick in that game. Same team, same game with the Brewers as my favorite stack, and we'll make it a trifecta on the Triple Crown. Hunter Renfroe gets one off Tommy Henry tonight.
Nice. All right, I'm going to go Seattle as well. Pitcher, I'm going to go with Aaron Nola. Home run call, I'm going with Bruhan from my birth city, Tampa Bay. So he's going to hit one, and we're just going to go 3 for 3 on these calls. I might even put the home run prop in, even though the odds are usually terrible. But that's all, guys. Hit that like button before we get out of here if you watch the whole thing. If you liked it, I think we're all ready. But before, with all this news, the weather and everything, be in the Discord, guys. If the weather's looking good, DC might say, you know what, I'm going all in on Carrasco. The weather's looking fine. I liked him already. I think it's going to be a lower end smash spot for him. Get in the Discord, sign up, all sports one price. We got NBA preseason tonight. We got NFL tonight. We got MLB tonight. I got EuroLeague playbook going to be out Thursday. Hey, EuroLeague basketball, baby. That's what we're here for. We got noon slates for EuroLeague, everything covered. For Gary, for DC, for your hostess with the mostest, Simon, get us out of here.